Hello, my name is John Bannon. I'm an attorney and philosopher. In today's video, I'm going to go over God versus the law of conservation of matter. So there's a very common atheistic argument that says that because matter cannot be created or destroyed, then it is impossible for God to have created the universe. Therefore, God does not exist. However, this is false under Hansonian superdeterminism. So, number one, the law of conservation of matter states that matter cannot be created or destroyed. Some will argue that this implies that the universe must have always existed, thereby precluding a divine creator of the universe. However, Hansonian superdeterminism proves that cause and effect in physics are not real. And you can find that proof by Swedish theoretical physicist Dr. Johan Hansen in the peer reviewed physics journal Physics Essays, volume 33, number 2, June of 2020, pages 216 to 218. Consequently, mass energy equivalence, which was formulated by Albert Einstein under special relativity, and his well known formula of E equals mc squared, is viewed as a static relationship under Hansonian superdeterminism rather than a causal transformation process. So if you look at E equals mc squared, what it's telling you is that you can transform energy into mass and mass into energy. E equals energy, which is equal to mass, m, times the speed of light, c squared. So the formula doesn't mention adding any new mass and energy or destroying any new mass or energy. So the formula itself is merely a transformation process. However, E equals mc squared comes from Einstein's special relativity. And there were only two postulates to special relativity, and neither one of them was cause and effect in physics, which means that special relativity does not require cause and effect in physics, and that so long as all the predictions of special relativity are exhibited in the static block universe, so that all the calculations come out correct, then technically you don't need cause and effect in physics in order for special relativity to work. Now, Hansonian superdeterminism says that we live in three dimensions of space and one static hidden dimension of time. So we live in this fourth dimensional static block universe, which contains real particles, but those particles are static, they don't move, they're not caused, you can't change them, they're permanent, they're just stuck like pebbles in concrete where they are. However, through the static dimension of time, these particles do create patterns, and these patterns can be described by our mathematical laws of physics. So the mass and energy are simply fixed patterns within the static block universe where the total values for mass and energy remain constant. So equals mc squared is really translated as static patterns within the block universe of mass and energy where the total amounts of both remain constant. That does not prohibit the creation of our static block universe atemporally out of nothing or ex nihilo. Because there is no internal causal mechanism regulating the existence of mass and energy, then there is no barrier to the atemporal creation of the whole static block universe simultaneously by God. So, um, under the Hansonian superdeterministic understanding of our block universe, because all the particles are stuck in place and don't move, but create patterns, and because these patterns can exhibit special relativity and all the calculations that you could make under it accurately, then there is no need for any causal mechanism to maintain the total value, equal value of all mass and energy in the universe. It can be done through static relationships, not through a causal mechanism. And because there is no internal causal mechanism regulating the equal amounts or the equal total value of mass and energy, then there's nothing that prevents God from atemporally creating our static block universe outside of space time. So, the creation of the universe atemporally by God is perfectly permitted under Hansonian superdeterminism and the law of conservation of matter. So, in this battle between God and the law of the conservation of matter, the big guy wins. All right, I'll give you a second to read the board. All right, until next time, take care.